All right. So now we talked about the music, talked about singles. Make sure if you haven't gone to get Self or download Self or stream Self, make sure you do that. Make sure you also stream Classy and Homegirl, all that. But this is a sports show. So now it's time to get into the nitty gritty, to the good stuff, which is the sports. So you like football. You play football, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
so football is like your thing. So normally we talk about basketball in here because it's the basketball podcast, but we're gonna expand the horizons a little bit because we do have a football player here, and if you listen to Cuddy Greg's music, you know he always drops football bars, so you got to pay attention to those. So how old were you when you first started playing football, and who introduced you to football?
My stepdad, I think, was the first to get me to love it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. My big brother Albert, shout out to Groove. He exposed me to it. He put it in front of me most times. He he would be watching the games or playing Madden and stuff like that. But my stepdad was the one that got me attached to it because he showed such a strong passion and such a just such an animation for the game. You know what I'm saying? And for me I had to be about like 8 or 9. And, this was about 03, 04, the Eagles was making their Super Bowl runs and stuff. And to see a grown man just become so excited, and you know what I mean, the snap, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, snap. Like, the players, as a kid, you watching the players, you feel like the players have some sense of power, some sense of control, you know what I'm saying? And to make, a grown person jump out their seats and start screaming, like, that's power. Absolutely. And that's what drew me into the game.
Absolutely. Now, was football the only sport that you played, or did you play any other sports or dabble in any other sports?
Well, yeah, coming up, I played baseball. I was boxing, but football was my thing. Like, I would have dropped everything for football. You know what I'm saying? That's I think that's kind of why I did stop playing, stop boxing. Like, my boxing fell off because football season came back around. And when football season came back around, I couldn't give,
everything.
What I mean, the boxing or be in the gym the way I would be in the off season. So, football was my main love. That was my first. Like, absolutely. I love this.
Absolutely. Now, for those that don't know, you are from Philly.
Absolutely.
You mentioned the Eagles, so I'm assuming you are an Eagles fan.
Die hard.
Okay. Hard. And a Sixers fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so me and you, we always have these, like I said, these conversations about the Eagles, especially like the older Eagles teams. Yeah. Now, who's your favorite Eagles player of all time?
Brian Dawkins, no question.
And why?
Weapon X. Because he had just epitomized Philadelphia. He was going to give it everything he got, win or loss. He sacrificed his body plenty of times. Brian Dawkins is 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's tackling tight ends that's 6'5", 260, and you know what I'm saying, head on. So it's like every game, that intensity, we loved that. We fed off of that, and he was the Wolverine, Weapon X, man.
Weapon X. So Brian Dawkins, okay. Now there's been a rift between the first Eagles Super Bowl. Well, I don't know if they were the first Eagles Super Bowl team, but the Super Bowl team of 03-04.
Yeah, the second team.
The second. Okay, so the second Super Bowl team. There was a rift between Donovan, Mcnabb, and Terrell Owens.
Yeah.
The stories are different on both sides. Everybody's pointing the finger. As an Eagles fan and somebody that experienced that team in that time, what did you take away from that experience, and what do you think the real issue is between the two of those players?
Well, right now I think they two old men. Not really, I ain't gonna say that. But, they Asian. They getting up there, and all the little pettiness, man, just y'all playing days was decades ago. You know what I'm saying? So all the little pettiness, man, I feel like that's, they should be beyond that. Especially, when you see things that happen to guys like Kobe Bryant and stuff like that. Life is just, it's too short, and all that, animosity and all that stuff, man. I mean, it's no place for it. But I say that to say that back when they linked up and they was playing, man, it was one of the best things I ever seen. I think Donovan was T.O.'s best quarterback. I think You know what I'm saying? Had they played 6, 7, 8 years together, like they both would be Hall of Famers with a couple rings. And it's just sad that they couldn't get on the same page to make that happen because there are two phenomenal football players, and we can never describe what they did for the city of Philly. You know what I mean? So it sucked that they couldn't bring us that Super Bowl, but get over it, y'all.
Yeah, he said it perfect. Y'all too old. Okay, y'all playing days is behind y'all. Y'all didn't win the Super Bowl. It's okay. Y'all Philly ended up winning the Super Bowl later on, so they alright. Yeah. I feel like y'all need to go ahead and figure that out because ain't no reason for y'all to be beefing. Like he said, life is entirely too short for the pettiness. Absolutely. And I mean, I'm sure that there was wrongdoing on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least from what it sounds like, even from teammates on the outside looking in that weren't directly involved in their disputes or spats or whatever you want to call, however you want to slice it. They all even say like, okay, like it's been long enough. Like right. We don't need to keep. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't need to keep doing this. Like, we're too old for this. So, I totally agree. Now, I am... Actually, in that one right there was